You may have seen this in the news recently that 3 in 4 battery installs are considered substandard. The reason for that might not be what most people think. G'day everyone, Dan and Matt here from GI Energy. I was actually interviewed on this topic by the Courier Mail, and when we were going through that conversation, what I kept thinking to myself was, everyone's blaming the installer, and there are some quality control issues in certain parts of the industry with the install, but as a consumer, you really need to look at the overall ecosystem and understand where those problems begin, because you can't fix a bad design with a neat install, and you can't make bad hardware good by installing it properly. So there's a bit more to it than just looking at the install itself, which in fact is the hardest thing to figure out as a consumer if it's done correctly.
Yeah.
Unless you're an expert, unless you want to delve really deep into what that install should be, it's really quite tricky. So what we're going to discuss in this video is the overall ecosystem, what to look for in the consultation, what to look for with the hardware, the design of the system, the install itself, because that's what these inadequate systems have been looking at, and then the safety around the batteries and what you should be looking for in terms of after sales support. So just to touch on what I mean by the ecosystem, so when you're buying a solar and battery for your home, you're buying more than just a battery, and you're investing in more than just an installer to come and install it. The whole thing working properly for a long period of time relies on the overall ecosystem, which starts at the manufacturer level. And if they're a quality first manufacturer, that typically means that they're going to produce a quality product. If they're a cheap first manufacturer, that usually means that their products are aimed just at a price point, and therefore the quality is second or third in the priority list. What usually happens then is that bleeds through to the consultation and the installer. So people that are trying to advertise the cheapest price obviously navigate to the cheapest product, and then they potentially will cut costs on the install level as well. So it's that overall ecosystem that lets you down. When you're in that cheap first segment, you're probably going to need more support as well, because you have potentially an inferior product that's installed cheaply. And here's the ironic part, is that those products and those installers don't price in after sales support. So you're going to need more of something where there's less of it available. But as I say, the report was suggesting that 3 out of 4 installs were substandard in Queensland, which is pretty shocking. But it starts at that consultation level, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is where you want to gather as much information as you possibly can as the consumer.
Yes.
And obviously attempt to find somebody reputable, long-standing, that obviously knows what they're doing, that will take the time with you to look through your home, your appliances, how they're used, when they're used, the location of your switchboard, where you potentially may want the battery, and if that's feasible.
Yep.
If it's in a garage, under a carport, under an eave, like obviously out of the sun, many different locations will work, but ultimately they may not be that easy to reach the switchboard as well. The backup power side as well, so whether your switchboard requires some work to bring it up to code, if it's single or 3-phase, and ultimately essentially what you want the battery to do, because if, as you mentioned earlier, a lot of the potential substandard installations that have obviously been audited probably were caused, if that is a problem, at the consultation phase. And it's not easy as a consumer to know what to ask.
Yeah.
But I think you can get a reasonable vibe on the person that you're speaking with, or that's coming out to have a look at the property, on whether they sound like they know what they're doing, or is it more of just a bit of a spiel? Is it yes, this works, you know what I mean? What would you like? Yes, that works. Yes. There's obviously going to be a little bit of back and forth about which product may be suitable, and there's not a one size fits all brand, battery capacity, size. Like there's a lot of really good products, and a good installer and an experienced installer will have a couple of different ones that they have, because again, what you have in a battery, what I have, a couple of our colleagues here, I think within an office here, there's 4 or 5 different batteries.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it clearly shows there isn't a one size fits all or a cookie cutter approach, but unfortunately, a lot of installers in this country, or sales and marketing companies, take that approach because it suits them, doesn't suit the end user. And I know we go on about this quite a lot, But if you can get this part right,
Yeah.
spend a good amount of time, do a bit of research, fact check what someone's telling you about a product and how it will work and if it suits your needs, because there's so much good information now. And obviously chat to neighbours, friends, colleagues. There's a lot of batteries that have been installed. You probably know someone that's had one.
Yep.
And you can definitely get a sense on how that installation went and if the product's doing what they were suggested it would do. So get that first phase right. I know it's not really easy, but spend a good amount of time, because you don't need to just get this ticked off in an hour or even a day. You can take a bit of time to step back, and if there's some pressure being applied that there's this awesome discount or there's this local neighbourhood buy or a letterbox drop, those things clearly aren't genuine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just taking a step back, thinking about it a little bit more, and just obviously feeling out what you think is obviously appropriate.
Yeah, you're right. It is difficult, and I'm sympathetic to consumers when they're going through this process sometimes, because it's not like buying a car where you've bought 3 or 4 and you can sort of see visibly and feel and feel the difference between a more expensive or a cheaper product. It is more difficult, but there are some very easy, tangible things you can do to navigate that consultation process. So what you were suggesting was find someone who knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But to dig down a little bit deeper, ask for their ABN, look it up online. Look at their reviews, look at the bad reviews, look at the replies to those reviews, ask for their insurance documents. If they're using a subcontractor, which is totally fine, they should have their own insurance in place as well.
Yeah.
And then, make sure they're asking you the right questions and spending the time with you, I think, is the most important thing.
Yeah.
If they're not asking you about all those things that you said, then it's probably a bit of a red flag. And then once they've done that properly, and once you've had a consultation done correctly, that's then when the product selection takes place. So the hardware is really important. We don't want to sort of grey over that, but the consultation usually, if it's done correctly, would lead to decent hardware.
Yeah.
We've got videos out there with what we think are the best batteries, easy to find on our channel, and those are the ones that we would install. So I'm not going to go into too much detail around the hardware. All I will say is do your due diligence on the hardware, just like you do the company that you're speaking to.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And then once the hardware's selected, it bleeds then through to the design of the system, obviously.
Yeah, I guess those are interlinked pretty well, because obviously I mentioned previously where the battery will go, firstly, in terms of that design. So proximity to the switchboard, location, if it's undercover, out of the weather, if it's outside, which some do need to be, and that can be completely fine. Does it require a cover, an awning, obviously some form of protecting it from the elements. As I mentioned, the distance from the switchboard, so then the size of the cable, the isolators, the circuit breakers that are required for backup power. If that battery is integrated into an existing solar system, which is really common now, probably every other job that we install, there's some form of existing solar on site. Some of the panels may be obviously rewired, reinstalled if necessary. It could be AC coupled to an existing battery, so obviously how that design works in terms of the integration with the system. So there's quite a bit of time there that needs to be spent to ensure that the design part is right. So we want to obviously do that correctly, rather than just turn up in the morning and then figure it out, because that's obviously pretty frustrating for everyone involved, the homeowner, installer, designer in the office, whatever else it might be. Everything needs that set plan. It needs to have pictures of locations. If we're on site, okay, here's the switchboard, measuring distances to windows, doors, aircon, hot water, any other plant or equipment. So a reputable, knowledgeable person will know all of those things.
Yeah.
And different manufacturers of batteries may have slightly different regulations for distances as well, but generally they're pretty similar. State by state, some of that stuff could vary. So again, a good amount of time needs to be portioned into the design phase to make sure everything else flows through, because if the hardware and the design isn't done correctly, that system's installed.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to change it and very expensive to change it once it's in place. So get that part right as well. Yeah,
absolutely. So you've got your correct hardware, you've got your correct design, you've got your correct consultation. Now it comes to the install. And that report was pretty damning, and it sounded, in my opinion, probably worse than it actually is in real life. And what I mean by that is these 3 out of 4 systems, a lot of them, I would say probably hopefully the majority of them, certainly a large percentage of them, are going to be very minor issues. Things like stickers that haven't been in the correct location, or maybe the wrong sticker has been included. It could be labeling of switches. And then there is going to be some that are a lot more drastic than that, and you do see some horrors out there. But I don't think 3 out of 4 are unsafe.
No.
When you look at the chart, there's a very small percentage of them that are actually considered unsafe. Now, I don't want to gloss over that because that's a real issue, and the standard definitely needs to be raised. But when you come down to the install, this is the more difficult part for a consumer. As we've mentioned earlier, making sure you get the correct consultation, design, and hardware is a little bit easier than making sure that your install's done properly. But some of the tangible things you can look for is just making sure that the work is neat and tidy. Anybody can do that. So if you've got an isolator mounted on the wall, it should be level. There should be no exposed cable there. It should all be neatly hidden in some conduit, preferably aesthetically pleasing, but that's not always possible. Everything should be level on the wall. Circuit breakers should be flush. There shouldn't be any gaps left in the board. Spacers should be used if there's no breakers in there. And then just like normal common sense. So if the people coming to your home are presenting themselves well and leaving the place clean and tidy, that's usually a good sign. Now, all of those things can happen, and there could potentially still be something that's not correct behind the scenes. But I guess that's where you have to have your trust in the company in the first place. And then if you've done that first part right, as you said, normally the project flows from there. And then the other thing is the safety of the product. Batteries now modern batteries have really good safety features built in. So you're unlikely to have serious issues. So if people are seeing this report and panicking, I would say don't panic. You have access to your online monitoring, and your installer or consultant should be able to show you how to use that. If for some reason they can't or won't, it's easy to find tutorials online, either on our YouTube channel or others, that will show you. So take an hour out of the day for the first couple of weeks. Not every day, but once a week for the first few weeks. If you're anything like me or you do it every day. But and just look at the statistics. With your proposal or quotation, you should have had an estimate of what your system will produce on there somewhere. So just see if it's working properly. And if it's not, then get in touch with your installer. If there's any errors or critical system faults, it should show up on your monitoring. So there are things you can do post-install that will help you feel comfortable that your system's working correctly. And then you have to rely on the after-sales support, don't you, which is crucial.
I guess that blends into that, doesn't it? So obviously, as you said, the monitoring now is so detailed, especially with a battery. It'll show you solar generation, home consumption, state of charge, how much power you've taken, if any, from the grid. A lot of battery consumers will be using a VPP or maybe a time-based tariff as well. So the monitoring may be a little bit skewed to obviously show some of that information. But it's just making sure, as you said, that everything looks the way it was described to you initially. So, okay, I was using 30 kilowatt hours a day. I'm now only taking 1 kilowatt hour from the grid. That's probably pretty accurate. In some cases, that could be a real negligible amount just for that little bit of power that's used just to tick the meter over. But a good company will sit down and take the time with you, a month, 3 months, whatever it might be, just to check that with you later to say, okay, this is working as we thought. Is there a way that you maybe could shift some of your power to the day? Have you changed the time your pool pump runs, your hot water, whatever you may have in the home, your EV charger, those bigger items? And that's all built into that time. If a company is saying to you before the installation, their after support's great, hopefully it is, because that really is where I think good installers are worth their weight in gold.
Absolutely.
Because most people with a battery will have questions about the system. It's very new, it's very different, and this is a full power station for your home. So definitely worth checking those things later, and obviously just ensuring everything is working the way it is. Compare the details on your monitoring to your quarterly or monthly power bill, or you might have an app as well now. A lot of people have that, obviously, to show how much power they use hour by hour or day by day. But I think, as you said before, I think it was obviously, not to say blown out of proportion, because it is an alarming statistic. But the amount of those substandard installs could be something very minor. If it's pretty obvious that something doesn't look right with the install, I always see a bunch of them posted on social media on like this rate my install post. It sort of feels like if you've got to do that, you feel this might be something wrong, call the installer, check if that's right. And if something isn't right, get them back and sort it out.
Yeah.
Like there should not be exposed cable. That's pretty simple. I'm not you know what I mean? A lot of people don't know me as a real sort of tradie sort of guy. Like I don't use a ton of power tools or anything, but you can sort of pick what does look good and what doesn't.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonably straightforward. And as you said, not everything's going to be absolutely perfect because conduits can't always be hidden, 2-story home, whatever else. But still, that some time and effort's gone into making it look as neat as it can be.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it comes back to that ecosystem that we talk about quite often. You want to get the whole thing right, not just the products, not just the install. And by doing your due diligence in the way we've explained in this video, you should be setting yourself up for success.
Absolutely.
If you are looking for a home battery, we always put our battery guide in the description to this video. So you can click that and download it free of charge. I think most people have found that pretty useful. If you've got any direct questions, please hit us up in the comments, or even better, just get in touch with us through our website and we'd be more than happy to help. And thank you very much for taking the time to watch.
Thank you.